Mic check podium. Mic check podium. Check 1, 2. Testing, testing. Good. Mic check 1. Mic check 2. 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 Mic check 3. Mic check 4. Mic check 4. This is the backup mic. You got that? Cool.
So you guys tell me how it looks. Hello? Oh, wow. Hello, everyone. Okay, let's see. I'm thinking like right here, to the side a little bit, maybe a little bit lower, or I think that's as low as it goes. Oh, I will. But, hello, everyone. Can everybody hear me in the back well? Does it sound good? Okay. How does it look? How does it look from over there? Do I look good? Look good? Thank you. I think I think I should just sit a little closer. Hello, Victor. Thank you for coming down. Okay. Does it sound good? Do I sound good? Clear? Concise? Okay. Because I think our moderator is going to be there, and then it's going to be probably Danny. No, I think it's going to be Arturo, Danny, the one dude. What's the other dude's name on there on the flyer? He's the very first one, not Paul. Andrew, and then I think it's going to be me, and then I'm going to bring it back around.
Yes. Okay, for sure.
Can we ask Windhausen for some water? Christina. Christina. All right, welcome everyone. This is a reminder, if you have food or coffee or any food or beverage with you, you do need to take that outside. So food and beverages are not allowed in this beautiful little auditorium. I won't look if you're walking to throw it away, but please do so. Thank you.
If everyone could start making their way to their seats, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. Okay, great. If you all can make your way to your seats, we are going to get started. Did anyone lose a bag? This bag here. Free giveaway. Could it have been a student? Could it have been a student? That's not part of this group, an actual RCC student. Yeah. All right, good morning. Good morning. I think we could do better than that. Good morning. Yes, happy Friday. Welcome to day 2 of the Vision 2030 Access, Success, and Support with Equity for High School and Justice-Involved Youth. If you were here yesterday, welcome back. If today is your first day, welcome. We are extremely happy to have you here. We would like to thank the Inland Empire Regional Desert Consortium for supporting this convening and our breakfast, right? Did you all get some breakfast? Pretty good, right? Thank you all for that. Thank you to the Greater Inland Achievement for their support, and the support that the Career Ladders Project has provided for this, as well as RCC. We see you all. This has been a really, really great event, so thank you. My name is Tyee Griffith, and I am the Associate Dean for Educational Partnerships at Norco College. You know, yesterday, during our first day, I shared a little bit about my experience and my background. And I think sometimes we forget that our stories and our lived experiences bring hope to people, right? Especially when they see how far we've come. So I want to continue to encourage people, because I did hear from a lot of you that said, you know, I have a background, but I haven't felt comfortable sharing. And to the folks that are in these spaces, let's be intentional about opening those spaces for folks. One of the ways that we do that is by really being intentional with our words. You know, one of the things that my mentor would always say is that words have power. Words have the power to damage, to dehumanize, but they also have the power to inspire and uplift. So as we do this work, I ask you all to be aware of the language that we use when we're talking about marginalized populations, because it does have power. With that being said, I would like to welcome up the president of Riverside College, Dr. Claire Oliveros. Please join me in giving her a hand.
Thank you, Associate Dean Griffith. Please give a round of applause to Associate Dean Griffith. Good morning, and welcome to Riverside City College. We're so delighted to have you on campus today. I'm going to adjust a little bit. I need to use the microphone because we're live streaming for those that are joining us remote. But can you all see and hear me okay? I am sort of half hidden behind this podium. I think I can also take it and walk, so I'm probably going to do that. All right. So how many were here yesterday? Just show of hands. Okay, welcome back. And we were in the beautiful Coyle School of Arts auditorium, and now we're on our beautiful 100-plus-year-old college campus, and actually at the heart of where it started, here in the Quad, where those of us who have family members, generations, or our historians know this was Polytech High School. Some local nods, yeah. I'm not local, but so enthralled in the rich history and tradition and stories I've been learning in my first year here as your new president. I came from the Sacramento area, and growing up as a young person, in a shared home, my mother in Portland and my father's side of the family in the Coachella Valley area, this is my second home. So although I didn't grow up here 365 days of the year, I experienced as a young person up until my late 30s, and now traveling to and from Portland to the Ontario Airport, to the Palm Springs Airport, to see family in Cathedral City from the age of 9 until now. So this is a very special place that also is doing magnificent things. I said yesterday, we are hidden in plain sight. RCC and our district, RCCD, are doing tremendous things for the Greater Inland Empire, and this is just one example. The ability and the capacity to host a 2-day convening with you all, educators, scholars, experts, who are faculty in your discipline, who have a passion and drive to support our diverse, racial, ethnic, diverse communities, our youth, our students and families, also our administrators and our classified professionals who come here day in and day out to support. I've had a chance to talk with some of you today. I just want to acknowledge that our district leadership is here, and we also have Board of Governor members here. Today our acting chancellor is Dr. Susan Mills, who's here. Just wave, say hi, no pressure, Susan, thank you. And some of you got to hear from our chancellor yesterday, Chancellor Isak, and he's traveling now today. Also, we have other district leaders here. Lijuan, Dr. Joao is here, hi. And yep, round of applause for the support from our district, Riverside Community College District in particular. And I also saw Board of Governors member Paul Medina is here. Thanks for joining us today, Trustee Medina, hi. And I know there are also leaders here from, we just met Vincent College, say it again, College for Campaign for College, thank you. Glad to have Vincent here. And you're gonna hear today from a current scholar who's a participant and close to graduating from the Rising Scholars Program. So today is going to be more of yesterday. I had a chance to meet and talk with you, David. Yeah, I'm glad you're here and look forward to hearing more about your story. What I wanna highlight from yesterday is while we were formally, in the School of Arts auditorium, the informal and inspiring interactions from across the auditorium and across the speakers and within the afternoon workshops was very inspiring and heartfelt. We appreciate the panel of faculty, leaders, and classified professionals and community members and administrators who shared and spoke of their commitment and service to ensuring dual enrollment is amplified, is leveraged, and also in coordination with our county and city and supporting those who might be impacted or involved in our criminal justice system and their families. We hope that momentum continues today. It's a full day of, again, panel and workshops. We're here on our beautiful campus all afternoon. And just wanted to also acknowledge and highlight the wonderful feedback we've been hearing about how lovely it's been to be on our college campus. And so we welcome you to the historic, vibrant Riverside City College and day 2 in Riverside City. And today would not have been possible without the coordination, the organization, the leadership and service of our coordinating committee. I want to thank the leadership of Career Ladders Project, Dr. Castro and team that are all here helping to make this 2-day convening so impactful. And also want to highlight our leadership at RCC, Vice President Lynn Wright, Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Lynn Wright, and Dr. Grayson, Adrian Grayson, our Associate Dean of Educational Partnerships. Yay, big shout out and kudos to our partners. And of course, the California Community Colleges System Office, the Chancellor's Office, for their Vision 2030 and commitment and dedication to equity, access, and success. This really wouldn't be possible. We're so glad you chose Riverside City College. There's tremendous good work that's happening here in support of our Rising Scholars Program Network. We saw also there's College Corps here today too, our Director of College Corps, Darcy Manzo, and I saw a student leader helping. We know it took many hands to help bring us into yesterday and today, and it's going to take just as many hands to help be the catalyst to move us forward in amplifying and leveraging dual enrollment and supporting our justice-impacted youth, students, and their families. So enjoy today. I hope you connect and make lasting connections with each other and draw inspiration and momentum from yesterday and before, and have a wonderful day 2 today on this really lovely Friday. So again, welcome on behalf of RCC and our administration, and thank you so much. I'm going to hand it back to Associate Dean Griffith.
Thank you so much, President Oliveros. It's inspirational leaders like this that see the vision and provide the support to really make things happen. So again, thank you. Let's give Dr. Oliveros another round of applause. Just a couple of housekeeping things. If you need to use the restroom, you would exit out of this building and walk all the way down to the end near the elevators. So if anyone needs to use the restroom, that is where they are. So yesterday, one of the words that I kept hearing was inspirational, right? Everyone left yesterday feeling extremely inspired. We heard from state and local leaders, we heard from faculty, we heard from students and other stakeholders. Today we have another really excited day planned for you all. We have a panel that's up next for you that is going to be facilitated by Paul Medina. As I call your name, go ahead and please come up. Paul Medina has been the president of the Associated Student Government at Compton Community College since 2022, and a business development associate at Security National Mortgage Company since 2021. Paul Medina was a student trustee on the Compton Community College District Board of Trustees in 2022 and Regional Affairs Director at the Student Senate for California Community Colleges from 2021 to 2022. Please join me in welcoming Paul Medina.
I believe that's me. Thank you, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Paul Medina. I'm a proud adult learner at both Compton College and East Los Angeles College, so I gotta give a shout out to East LA. Do I have any East LA folks in the room? So I have the esteemed honor today of serving as a moderator of this phenomenal panel. In the last couple of weeks, I've gotten to connect with these amazing students, and I've been a part of a few panels in the past, but this one's so special, especially obviously the mixture of the students here. They're just phenomenal. I mean, great leaders, and you're gonna meet them right now. I'm actually gonna start off by introducing actually the first one. So the first one on my list is Danny Silva. So Danny who give her Danny shout out. So Danny Silva is a sophomore who has served as a peer mentor for rising scholars. She's also the vice president of communications for the Student Senate for California Community Colleges, which serves as the voice of the 2 million community college students in the state of California. Danny's also the associate student government president at Mount San Antonio College. Sorry, I'm getting my colleges confused here. And Danny will be graduating with honors, earning a radio, television, broadcasting production degree, as well as an associate in arts and transfer and communications in social justice. I mean, hold on, because it gets lengthy, trust me, and you're gonna meet this overachiever. In social justice, I'm gonna actually put my fingers up here. Social justice, world languages and global studies, along with a certificate in forensics competition management from Mount San Antonio College. I mean, that's awesome. So that's President Silva. Next, Arturo Reese. Arturo's a current student at Riverside City College, where he is involved with the Men of Color Initiative. Becoming involved in the backpack giveaway, he helped raise donations to supply 500 backpacks and school supplies for income qualified children in Riverside. He has a BA in criminal science from Cal State LA, and he is interested in pursuing a master's in digital marketing. So we give a big round of applause for Arturo. Next is Daniel Manso. Where you at, Daniel? Woo! Daniel's a second-year psychology major from Riverside City College. I think you all heard of Riverside City College. He's also a student mentor for the Rising Scholars Program and president of the Transitioning Minds Club on Riverside City College campus. If you give a big round of applause to Daniel. And the rest of the panel, have a seat, please. No, definitely. So I'm going to leave this mic here. Do I turn it off? Or? Okay, sweet. Thank you. Take a seat really quick. Take out my very fancy smartphone here because where I have the questions at. You tell me. I think we're good. It's not getting in my way. And let me know if I need to speak louder. Sometimes I get a little bit back, I go a little bit forward. Right now it's perfect. So, Daniel, since you're actually right next to me, we're gonna start off with you. How about that?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan? Great.
Yeah.
So the first question, obviously I thanked everyone for being here, so let's start by going around and having our panelists introduce themselves, which I just mentioned. Please tell us, Daniel, your name. I just said that right now. Sorry, I'm super nervous today. What you studied, what you're currently studying, where you go to school, and what brings you to this panel and convening. If you could kind of further elaborate on the introduction in which I mentioned.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Barragan Monzo, and I'm a current second-year student here at Riverside City College. I'm hoping to graduate with a degree for transfer in psychology, sociology, and an AA in social behavioral arts. I'm president of the Transitioning Minds Club, and I'm student mentor here with the Rising Scholars Program. I hope I can provide some insightful, stuff for you guys today.
Sounds good. Thank you. So our next panelist, if you could please, once again, tell us what school you're attending, obviously what you're studying, and what brings you to this panel.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'd like to take a quick second to thank everyone here for the innovative work you're doing. And as far as my work here, I'm a student. This is my last semester at RCC. My major is history. I'm actually a returning student. I already have a degree. And the reason why I decided to come back was because I made a couple mistakes. So those mistakes landed me in the state penitentiary for 7 years. When I came out, it was extremely difficult for me to readjust. It was either, in my mind, it was either go and do whatever I had to do to survive, to pay rent, to buy a car, to pay for my rent and everything else, right? Or come to school. I had the great blessing of filling out a Rising Scholar interest form. And in 48 hours or less, I got a call back from both Dr. Grayson and Mr. Armstead, and they got me into the school, into the program, and it's been downhill from there. I'm graduating with, I think, honors. I have a 3.8 GPA, so I don't know. And the reason why I brought up the GPA is not to brag or anything. It's just to explain to all of you who are identifying students at a young age. I'm doing a 3.8 with many learning disabilities, and I was also diagnosed with dyslexia. So for a normal person, it takes about 10 minutes, 20 minutes to read a chapter. It takes me about 3-4 hours. So I'm not saying it just to sound like a victim, but I really like for you to put that in your. I'm sure you already know, right? But a lot of students like myself who grow up with learning disabilities get stigmatized. So they see themselves I don't think they see themselves as college worthy because I was there. I didn't think I could go to college when I was a high school student. So the work you're doing is extremely important. So having said that, I'm just going to thank everyone here that works at Riverside, because for me, it was, Riverside has been the difference between recidivism, which you all know that it means you get violated and you go back to prison. It's been the difference between a successful reentry story and going back to prison. So I thank everyone who's making it possible for me.
What an amazing story.
Thank you.
I don't know how I can follow up on that besides just saying that I am so glad to be sitting next to you right now.
Appreciate
And that 3.8 is
You made me cry.
absolutely impressive. It is not easy to do, I'll tell you that. I'm Danny Silva. I go by Danny K, and I'm a peer mentor for the Rising Scholars. I am a student parent, EOPS first generation, formerly incarcerated student, and studying communications, which is my first go-to major. I just somehow landed into it, and the reason why I decided to return to higher education, or just to start college in general, is honestly the best choice I've ever made in my life. But the reason why I decided to do it is because as a single parent, after COVID, my kids just had absolutely no interest in attending school anymore. They were completely antisocial, a lot of anxiety, and it was just almost impossible to get one trip with all three of them going to school at the same time. So I'd have to take numerous trips, which affected my ability to stay employed because I couldn't ever show up at the time that I wanted to. Mind you, I get up at like 5:30 or 6 in the morning to get them ready, but you know, one of them always had some issue, and or sometimes all of them would team up against me, and then they just wouldn't go to school that day. And so I said, you know what, let me stop trying to tell them how much fun high school can be and how important it is to graduate and what all, you know, they could do to take advantage of this opportunity that they're never gonna get again, which is to be free from any type of worry or responsibility when it comes to bills and things like that. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna show them. And I learned that from one of my colleagues who's sitting here today. It's leading by example and having a black belt attitude. We got black belts together. And I decided I'm gonna go and I'm gonna enroll in school, and I'm going to go every single day, and I'm gonna have a good attitude about it. I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna do all my coursework at the kitchen table, still gonna have dinner with the family, I'm still gonna go to work, and I'm gonna have a good attitude about it. And hopefully that's gonna set an example, and maybe one of them will be paying attention. And at first they acted like they didn't notice, but then I started noticing they're wearing my Rising Scholars hoodie, they're carrying my tote bag, using my water containers, and bragging about their mom that, that she's, you know, going to school to get a degree. And little by little, they all started attending school. My daughter graduated and just recently started at Mount SAC, where I am at, and so I'm really excited for that. Yes. And we just filled out my son's FAFSA. He's in his senior year, and originally he said he just wasn't gonna graduate. He had a plan. I think he was planning to be the next Nino Brown, but it turned out he decided instead that he wants to do sports at Mount SAC, and so he's focusing on making sure that, you know, he's taking care of his responsibilities to graduate. And my daughter is also promising she's gonna go to Mount SAC, so we'll see what happens, but that dual enrollment is what I'm really hoping that she's gonna take advantage of. Imagine finishing high school and having your AA at the same time, and where that can take you. So fingers crossed, y'all, send me good vibes for Alex, because I'm hoping that she takes advantage of this amazing opportunity that's been presented to our newest population.
Very nice.
Amazing. So we're going to start off, Daniel, with the first question to you.
Yes.
Access to college is so important for students. They want to have a good career. How has early access to college courses played a role in your journey, either through dual enrollment while in high school or while detained? Was there any support system which helped with the start of your college journey?
That's a great question. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Well, I come from a low-income home. I'm the son of immigrants. I'm a first-generation Mexican-American. And so education was always stressed in our home. It was always important. School became that safe place. We go to school, all our friends are there. We have a great time there. So I always excelled in school. Going into high school, I was projected to graduate early, on time. I had 2 open periods, 2 classes that I needed to get done with, and I was a teacher assistant for my 2 other periods. So looking back and reflecting at those times, I know that dual enrollment would have played a pivotal role in the trajectory of my life. We unfortunately didn't have that at our school. I spent the next 12 years of my life on the streets, committing crimes, gangbanging. It wasn't until 3 years ago when I was incarcerated that I decided, you know, I need to make a change in my life. I enrolled in college, I'm still in college, looking to graduate. I was released on August 28th, and on August 30th, exactly 2 days after my release, the Rising Scholars Program got me in person, in classes, full-time student. I graduated this past fall, all A's, you know? Thank you. And dual enrollment is very important because for a lot of us that come from these neighborhoods, these backgrounds, we have too much time on our hands. Life happens. It's not that our kids aren't smart. They're intelligent. They're very intelligent. So I know that if they would have offered those programs when I was in school, it would have made a big difference. It would have saved me from a lot of what happened. So I know now that offering this to those high school students is important. A lot of them don't have that bridge. They might not ever make it to community college, or they're just conditioned to believe that it's not for them, when in fact it definitely is. So I think that dual enrollment is very important to have at every high school, in every community.
Amen. Wow. Okay, so yeah, Dito, I guess everything he said, I agree. As far as my experience in high school, I came to the U.S. when I was 16, so it was very difficult for me to make it to any type of school thereafter. But I was an athlete, so they picked me up, and I was able to go to Cal State LA. And even though I went to Cal State LA, I was nowhere ready to compete with the rest of the student population. So an early entrance program or dual enrollment would have been critical for students like myself who, in addition to being an immigrant, I also had undiagnosed learning disabilities. So it wasn't, and it's sad that to a certain extent, it's sad that I was diagnosed with all those mental ailments when I was in prison. Like, I was already like 43, 44. I had already graduated, gotten my teaching credential, all of that. But if there was a program like that, like Mr. Manso said, it would have helped me get, at least to be able to compete with the normal student population. And so that is the importance of your work, and I want to see more students like myself identified at a young age.
Thank you.
I'd like to emphasize how important student services are in addition to getting the students involved and providing them with an opportunity to advance. Many of us have similar experiences where, we are undiagnosed with things, and maybe some of us might even self-medicate due to that. Dual enrollment and just having access to education in general, the value of it is absolutely insurmountable. My first incarceration, y'all were good. They didn't get in trouble until later. I got in trouble very early on, probably in middle school was my first time getting in trouble, and they should have taught us more self-control when we got our black belts, because I was a bully to all the bullies. So I didn't like seeing people get pushed around or mistreated, and I ended up, the irony. In terms of having access to education, even while I was doing time, that was extremely helpful. I wouldn't have probably graduated from high school had I not received those credits while I was in my very first vacation. But following that, I think one of the really hot topics that we should probably touch on is that for some of the first generation students who have that opportunity to complete their AA, or at least a majority of it while they're in high school, this removes a huge burden from their parents, because their parents might not know that they have access to financial aid or to services. And so giving them that opportunity to advance as much as they can during high school, I think would assist them in actually taking it a step further, whereas some of them may think that they aren't going to be able to afford it, or it's going to be a burden on their parents. And so I think that is an extremely valuable opportunity that I hope more students, and my students, my little ones at home, take advantage of.
Well, there wasn't many programs, obviously, while you were in high school. Moving forward, there's so many initiatives now being created through so many districts, really, throughout the state. Riverside, I see Rio Hondo College here, LA Southwest College, and really many schools throughout the whole state. But aside from that, was there any programs while you were detained in which if you could further expand on that? Where did you get your start, obviously? Anything that really helped springboard your academic journey?
Yeah.
In your case?
Well, I was incarcerated at Old Folsom up north. and we had just come off of lockdown. So they had shut down the college program for about a year. We all know COVID happened, everybody, no movement. So when they started the college program back up, that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try. I started off with one class. I started off with a race and ethnic studies class. And that was what gave me that spark, like, you know what, I can do this, this is for me, this is where I wanna go in life. I wanna get educated. They had Project Rebound there. They had a cohort for University of Sacramento. And all my buddies were in there, so they definitely pushed me to continue going to college. They're like, hey man, we know you're smart, we know you're bright, man, you know? So I got to see them graduate in the first cohort that they had there. And you know, that inspired me to continue going. And hopefully I graduate at the end of this fall, so.
Well.
Thank you.
We had Rising Scholars at Corcoran, but personally, I was already. I've always been into academics. I read a lot. What really helped me was the student services that she mentioned. More so the being diagnosed with, and know that there are certain things that you could do to learn better. So it gave me the time to practice and sharpen my skill set. So now everybody makes fun of me because they're like, why do you take 18 units like every semester and you have like 3 jobs? And so because I was able to learn how to learn. And so that to me, now that the Laverne School of Law is trying to get me to go over there, is like, I don't know if I want to. But I know I do have the skill set. I do have the skill set and the patience to learn and read those big books. So I would say that the student services that she mentioned for me they were a blessing. So having said that, I think that if we could focus on identifying the students' needs,
Okay.
and then bring them on.
Okay. I like how you're turning down the law school. You're like, no, it's the other way around.
Yes,
You're like,
yeah.
A big part of that, 18 units, I do 18 units every semester too, is that we're gangster, right? So, because people are like, you're crazy, 18 units, and you're the president, and you're a peer mentor, and you're a mom. How the heck do you do that? And I'm like, and I'm on radio. So one of the things that I do want to mention is that my intention is to go to Claremont Graduate University and finish there. And what impressed me about CGU is their Inside Out program. And that was the first of its kind. And it was provided to our incarcerated population. And almost made me want to do another bid, I'm going to tell you, because they walk out of there with like a master's degree, And so I'm about to, incur some pretty big debt to go there. But some quick stats regarding why it's so important is that there's $75 billion spent per year on mass incarceration, whereas there's only $65 billion spent on education. And it only takes $10,000 per student, whereas it takes $100,000 per year per prisoner. So I think that just the stats of that alone is pretty poignant. If we invest in one another, we do well. Like I tell my children, we are such exceptional people, but that can go both ways. So everything I do is exceptional, whether I'm messing up or doing well. And so we really have to focus our energy in the right direction, and that involves having peer mentors and having people who look like us in these spaces where we want to take space and make space for us. And it also involves us letting our younger population know that it's okay to communicate when we need help or when we don't understand things, because in the street, that doesn't go. If you need help or you don't understand something, you're an easy target. And so we have to unlearn a lot of learned behaviors that are generational.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah. With that said, I yield my time.
Great words, Danny K. And you're not messing up. You're disrupting the status quo, the way of things being done, making
Thank you.
things more equitable.
It's in my LinkedIn, by the way. I am a disruptor.
That's it. So the next question. So many of you are active in student government in the statewide Student Center for California Community Colleges or in the Rising Scholars Network Advisory on your campus, and some of you are actually active in all, overachievers. What is the role for students in shaping programs which support other students in areas such as dual enrollment and system impacted programs? You actually start off with, how about you, Danny K, obviously,
All right.
so we can change it up a little bit.
He just threw the reverse card at me.
I know.
All right,
It's
I'm
not
with it.
Uno.
This is one of my favorite topics. I think, I'm pretty sure I won my election with this specific topic, and the idea of it is that student voice is the most valuable voice at the table. As much as we appreciate the educators who always put students first. Every conversation in every college-wide committee that I sit on, the top priority is always the students. But the problem is that the perception and the lens that is being used to determine what to do for these students is sometimes a little askew simply because we're in a different era. And so students, I have to constantly remind them how valuable they are and how much I need them to be sitting in these spaces, because there's 38 college-wide committees on my campus. We have a population of 60,000 students, and these decisions are being made whether we're at the table or not, but we are invited to the table. And so if students don't realize how important and valuable their voice is, and that they actually have an opportunity to assist with making decisions, we actually miss the opportunity to take part in that. I'm really, really proud that I was on the hiring committee to hire the Vice President of Student Services for Mount San Antonio College. That is huge for me, and I think if students understand how important it is that they're in those spaces, they'll take it more seriously. Part of that is valuing them by giving them some type of an offer for their time. Because on top of being a student and having life, we're also trying to hold space in these places that these committees, they go in. I'm kidding, like, I'm not kidding. There's like 2 hours per committee, right? Sometimes it's every other week. There's an agenda with sometimes maybe 10 or 15 different items on it, all of which need to be voted on and addressed. And then this obviously goes to our Board of Trustees, where we hope that they're gonna hear what the faculty is recommending in collaboration with the other two branches. So I think that the most important thing to take away when it comes to being a student is that don't just go to school and leave. Go to your campus, do your classes, stay on campus. The food is there too, right? So that's a big one. There's always food. I gained like 15 pounds my first semester just following the food. There's always snacks. Be present, right? And get involved. And if you do that, you're usually 9 out of 10 times a top GPA earner because you're spending more time on campus. You're not leaving. And most campuses want to hire from within, so you may make a great, mentor from a professor. You may sit on a committee with your future colleague. And when you do sit at those tables as a student, you have the equivalent say and the equivalent value of the highest member that's sitting on that committee. And I think students really need to know that. And so I feel like it's our responsibility and it's faculty's responsibility to take a student and encourage them to come to a committee. And not only that, but mentor them. Let them know what the acronyms are. Let them know what the code of conduct is and how things are gonna be handled, so that we really can make a change together and we can become a community and a family where people wanna stay. Thank you.
Very nice.
Danny K, I really like your response, especially being student body president. I mean, you emphasize the importance of being active in the shared governance process. I mean, there's many committees, as you mentioned, at your campus here at Riverside City College, in which students aren't even aware of that you could be participating in, obviously. In your case, you serve in the President Advisory Committee, but everything from budget to obviously coordinating
Absolutely.
maintenance to facilities,
Buildings,
to stuff
facilities.
like that. Yeah, definitely.
If
Can you
I may
expand a little
add?
bit more of the committees?
Absolutely.
Example.
Last semester, I started out as an interim senator and Senate chair. And I partnered with our president, amazing, Ann Ha, you are amazing. I used to tell her I want to be like her when I grew up, but she's like half my age. and she's a little beast. And we worked on some resolutions. One of them was, I noticed as a peer mentor that I had some students that were student parents. Some were veterans, some were full-time, you know, in their jobs, and they weren't getting any services as a student parent. They weren't recognized as a student parent because they didn't qualify for EOPS. They were not on CalWORKs, so they were not a part of CARE. And some of them were in need. Some of them needed emergency housing. Some of them needed help with books. Rising Scholars, you know, they have a small amount of money, but not EOPS money, right? Not TRIO money. It's a small program, and we're building it up. And so, you know, we're having to like share books with one another and figure out, you know, how we're going to be able to carry the 18 units and, you know, get all those books and stuff. And, you know, I went to EOPS, and I was like, you know, I have like a population of about 15 students that I'm working with right now that don't qualify for EOPS, but I would love to have them come and experience the Parent Institute, which is something that I was working on with EOPS. I'm an EOPS student. And the director said, I am so sorry, but the way this is structured, we aren't allowed to have other populations, you know, taking part in these activities. And I'm like, well, that's not equitable. So we decided to write a resolution to make sure that all student parents got priority registration. And we worked with Faculty Senate on it, and they partnered with us. They got behind us on it. We worked with admissions. We talked to everyone we needed to talk to make sure that we'd be able to implement this. And it passed about 6.5 to 7 months before AB 2881. And the reason why that's so important to me is because when I look up AB 2881 right now, what I do read is that student parents are not getting priority registration despite AB 2881 because the schools don't yet have the ability to pre-qualify those students. Maybe that's the CCC Apply isn't asking the right question. Maybe that's not connected to admissions. I'm not really sure how each campus works. But we were able to implement it. And I'm thinking to myself, where's the news channel? Because there is a school that's doing it right now. And it's saying, you know, that meet Rosa, she's a student parent and she doesn't get priority registration. Meet Manuel, he's not getting priority registration. And schools across California, despite the law, are unable to provide this, right? And I'm like, but we're providing it. So resolutions are important because if we speak on what's important and we actually act on it, then we don't need to wait for state law to happen. But if we do, I have a solution for that too. Students can join the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. Right now, what we're doing, we're gearing up for General Assembly. Students all across California, 2 million of them now, wrote resolutions for things that are important to them. Everything from car seats at the child care center to making sure that there's menstrual products right on campus, making sure that, you know, EBT can be swiped at least one place on campus, making sure they can have bus passes, making sure that we're removing racist mascots, monikers, and nomenclature from higher education, and on and on. I can go on and on. There's probably about 30 different resolutions that we are all gonna vote on in April to determine what we're gonna come back to campus and ask for in 24-25. And so by doing these kinds of things and by communicating with faculty and building those relationships and those bonds, we can get in alignment with one another and just really make amazing progress. So I really urge anyone who's interested in getting involved or finding somebody who you think has promise, maybe they're extremely opinionated in class, right? That would be somebody that you would say, hey, you know what, I would love to hear you talk more. Why don't you come with me to this committee? And we feed you, there's food, you know? Food's important.
Food is very important, let me just say that. So Arturo, what is the role for students in shaping programs and for other students in your, obviously on your campus, such as Rising Scholars, through enrollment programs?
Okay, so Danny mentioned what's important. And for me, I'm very protective of my the program that I represent, which is Rising Scholars. It allowed me to be here, and it was my, it was instrumental, highly instrumental in my success. So I'm very protective of my time, and I want to make sure that the way she explained it, we're building it. I want to be there, and I want to be instrumental in building that process, that program, because it works. And as a matter of fact, just to illustrate my point, yesterday I went to pick up a new recruit, and I went and picked him up, brought him. We went through the whole process of applying for financial aid. I introduced him to a couple of people from different programs, and he's just done 29 years straight in the penitentiary. So he said, I didn't think it could be done like this, the way you did it. And I said, look, I know you just got out a month ago, but I want to be that person that Mr. Armstead was to me. I want to be for those students. So I think I have the capability to help as many people as possible, especially because I know what they're going through. He was very, very skeptical and afraid of the whole process, but in 2 hours we got everything done, and we submitted our interest form for Rising Scholars, and I'm just protective, and I'm very invested in our program.
And you know what? Just to add to what you're saying, imposter syndrome is a thing. It doesn't go away no matter how high your GPA is or how nice your suit is. I was talking about mine. No, just kidding. And also that fear
It is nice.
doesn't go away. And it's sometimes really hard for formerly incarcerated, system-impacted students to keep up because of the lack of experience in these spaces and understanding how to attach a document and how to PDF a document and how to talk to a professor.
Yeah, if I may add one more thing, forget the PDF. He had a hard time manipulating the mouse.
Yeah, or making a password.
He didn't know what the password was or how. So for me, I remember I had not a similar situation, but I didn't know what Canvas was because I went to school in, don't laugh, but in last century, in the early 90s. So I was waiting for a bubble sheet or a scan, you know. So now they have everything. I mean, Canvas, I go, why do I need Canvas?
Because you're going to paint.
We got jokes here. Is this a stand-up comedy?
Yes.
Okay, so, that's funny. So, basically what happened with me, where I was trying to log on and get some classes or drop some classes, and if it hadn't been for Mr. Armstead, I wouldn't have done it. He said, so do you want me to help you get it done? I'll get it done for you. And I was scared, and I already had a degree. So can you imagine a person, and he told me his story on the way back. He said, I was always on the street turned up. This is like the actual first, I'm starting to live at 58 years old. And thanks to you, you made it just like a walk in the park. And it is a walk in the park. It's not rocket science, to be honest with you, to get into school. We just need people like yourselves. For me, just to piggyback, not piggyback, but go back to what he said about me going to law school. Back then, lawyers were my superstars. Now, I think all you right here are those superstars that I look up to.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, let's hear from you.
Yeah, man. I know that students are definitely the cornerstone that allow us to know what support services we need on campus. Between the DRC, the Daily Resource Center, mental health, financial literacy, the expungement clinics that we do on campus, they allow us to know what they need. A lot of you faculty members, you guys have already been down the road, you know? You guys were students once. So a long time ago, maybe the needs have changed from what the demographic of a student looks like now. So it's important to listen to these students. It's important for them to voice their voice in spaces where they can't have their voices heard. I heard Danny speak at Amend last week, and her words were very inspiring. Mm-hmm. We have Senate coming up here at Riverside City, and I'm definitely thinking of running because we need students like us in representation in those spaces.
speak about your Rising Scholars, obviously, experience? I know you touched on it already, but expand on it. Both you and Arturo are part of the RCT, and this district champions a lot system impacted students. I mean, they're on top of that. Can you speak about your experience with that?
Yeah, definitely. During my incarceration, I spent most of it working at the law library for 2 years. So I did a lot of paralegal work there. I saw a lot of cases. I started attending college. And from there, we turned the library into something completely different. We turned it into study groups. We had people come down and start doing education plans because what they lacked a lot of was counselors that wanted to go into those walls and actually help these students that wanted to change their lives. People weren't giving them that chance. So I was, hey, come down, man. We're doing study groups, man. Whatever you need, we're down here. We're a resource center. That was the first resource center that I experienced. So when I got out and I realized, wow, we have all these engagement centers on campus. You have all these people that are willing to help. Like that kind of, I just fell into it, you know, because being a student mentor and being able to help other people definitely, it spoke to me because I was once that person who needed that help, but didn't want to ask for that help. So now I'm here for my fellow students, whether it's between classes or I come onto campus of my own free time and study here instead of being at home. The students definitely allow us to know what support services they need.
Very good.
Now, in the interest of time, I don't think we have time for any questions at the moment, but rest assured that the panelists are actually going to stick around here. So please connect with them. I mean, they're really phenomenal students, individuals, and fellow students here in the California Community College system. And their contact information, they'll be glad to obviously reach out via me, email, and all that. But at this moment, if you could please give us a big standing ovation to the amazing students.
Oh, stand up? Stand up or what? Thank you. Thank you, Medina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul, for moderating that
Yes, thank you,
amazing
Paul.
panel. And big thanks to our panelists, right? Let me tell you, it never gets easy sharing your story, right? But it is so important that we own our narrative because, again, we don't know the type of inspiration and hope that our stories have on other people. I also want to recognize just the importance of having credible messengers in every single space, at every single table, because they're the ones that really know how to get things done. So again, thanks to the panelists for that. We have a full day of workshops planned for you all, so I hope you are super excited. There's a lot of really great sessions. If you didn't already get an agenda, they are located outside, so please make sure you get those agendas. We have built in a little team time for you all because there's a lot of sessions to choose from. If you've come here with a team, this is an opportunity for you all to get together and maybe come up with a plan on what sessions you're going to attend. Are you each going to go to different ones and then come back and report back? Are you going to go to the same ones? So this is a time for you all to be able to discuss that. I want to remind you that our first breakout session starts at 10:55. So again, take the next few minutes to meet with your team, take a break, and then we will hit those sessions at 10:55. Thank you all so much. Enjoy your break and team time.